Hey everybody, it's me. I just wanted to hop on here really quickly to introduce today's interview. I interviewed Jacey Smith, and she is the owner and creator founder of On-Board with Jacey. Jacey creates custom charcuterie boards for events, weddings, baby showers, all kinds of stuff. And recently she launched into a new cool little product that I hope you're excited to learn about. So if you want to learn more about Jacey and her business, click play and I will see you later.
Hey everybody, it's me. Here we are with Jacey Smith. She is the owner of On Board with Jacey. Jacey does charcuterie boards and all kinds of, I don't even call them boards, like charcuterie tables.
Yeah.
But Jacey, kind of talk to us a little bit about what it is that you do and how you provide the service that you provide.
Yeah, well, I want to thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Oh
I love what you do. This is so cool for all small businesses around town. What I do, and I kind of do it on the side since I do work full time. I do it usually on the weekends. I started off very small. I used to just do small boards that I would just take over to a friend's house, girlfriend's night. I did it for family gatherings, things like that. And then I posted a picture, and then it just started to get more and more traction. And so I just took off from there. Was really the way I started. It wasn't any intention. There was
Sure.
no goal for this. I
Yeah.
do love that I'm doing it and I do
Yeah.
enjoy it. But yeah, I really did start off a picture, and it's crazy how social media can take your business and just succeed it far past than you can imagine. But
Right.
I would have to say I started at my company that I'm at now. We were having our grand opening at our new office, and my boss was like, what should we do for like appetizers to make it seem like it's like
Right.
a come and go? And me being all over social media, I saw this blogger post this big charcuterie board, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that would be so cool to do!"
Like, you can
And
do that.
yeah, and so I'm really do have a creative side. I got my degree in interior design, so I've always had the eye for design. But when she was like, "Go for it, I'll pay for it," and I was like, "Okay, sure." And so I went to HEB and just picked things. I had no
Yeah.
clue what I was going for.
Yeah.
I followed a picture, and then
Sure.
that's when it really took off from there. And I'm here
That's
2 years in now.
That's crazy. So how long after you kind of did that did you start really, what would you say the timeline was between first couple boards you did and you realizing, oh, wait a second, this might actually be a
Turn
thing?
into something, yeah.
Yeah,
I would say 2 weeks after I got another big board. That
really.
was like the second board I got was 2 weeks after. And then after that, it was just weekend after weekend before COVID hit. And
Yeah,
well, the whole year of 2019, I was almost doing one every weekend. No
yeah,
matter if it was small or big, I was doing something
sure,
involving with cheese boards. So
sure,
it just all depended on who my client base was and like what
sure,
they were having. I would try to do bigger boards just because I enjoy seeing like a bigger board than just a small board. I
yeah.
enjoy going to big events, and I enjoy seeing I never thought I would be into weddings, and now I have now 20 weddings booked out next year.
Wow.
And so it's just crazy to like think I was doing just date night boards and now
Yeah,
I'm doing weddings. So it really is
yeah.
crazy, and I really do enjoy every aspect of it. But
That's
yeah, that's kind of how it
that's
started.
wild. So you mostly, I know you do weddings and you do like baby showers and stuff like
Yeah,
that. What's the weirdest event? I'm gonna throw you off here a second. What's the
yeah.
weirdest event that you've ever done a board for? Or is it, have you had
Well,
anything that's been odd?
I say it's the weirdest, but I think it was the coolest and the most unique one that I got asked to do. I did a little kid's birthday party, and that was so cute to me. I love
Yeah,
kids to begin with,
yeah,
but to see they did a candy board, and it was just colorful, and it was
yeah.
so cute. And I actually attended the kid's birthday party, so I got to see the kids like eat it and be so
Right.
intrigued by it. But then the parents were like, "Oh my gosh, this is so cute," you know.
Yeah.
And with all the pops of color, like that one was so cool. I wouldn't say it's the weirdest, but I think it's the
Yeah.
most unique, and I
Different.
never thought I would do it. Yeah, because it's not cheese or meats or crackers; it's all
Sure.
candy. And
Yeah.
the kids loved it, and every piece got eaten. And so the mom was
That's
like, "Oh my gosh, I'm doing
that's
this
so
every
cool.
time."
That's
But
so cool.
recently, I just did like a Halloween spooky one. That one was kind of cool. So
That's
it's
neat.
fun to just play with different events and different things like that I can just
Yeah.
explore creativeness on cheese.
So you're right. It's like who thought that this would be that big of a thing? But it's super cool, and I think there's an aesthetic part to it. People
Yeah,
like it
no
because it's
doubt.
visual. But I mean, everybody likes snacks, so
Yeah,
it's a good way to mix the two.
yeah.
Do you feel like, I mean, obviously most of your business was word of mouth at first.
Right.
Feel like is most of your business now at this point people that you know still, or is it more like referral based or
It's half and half. I would say half and half. It's either people I don't know through social media that just found my page. Now that could have stemmed from somebody that I knew that shared my stuff,
Sure.
and then I found them. But yeah, I starting off, it was everybody I knew them personally.
yeah, that's
But now I have random people contacting me for
wow,
weddings. I'm on wedding vendor preferred list, so that's how usually brides contact me.
right,
If not referred from their event coordinator that they said that they've used me
right,
and they want to use me as well. So it's just word of mouth, but in a different way through
yeah.
social media too.
Yeah, no, and it's interesting because a lot of people they start out with that tiny inner circle
Yeah.
and you don't realize how quickly it can grow. And so it's interesting to me. What's the furthest location out that you feel like you've gone?
I did one in Tyler, Texas.
Wow.
Yeah, so I drove there, and it was actually one of my mom's best friend's daughter.
Yeah,
So it was kind of like she asked me to, and I couldn't say no type thing. But
sure,
then
sure,
again,
sure.
I wanted to, do a board that
Sure.
far just to say like I'm up for traveling. I'm
Yeah.
happy traveling. I'm based in College Station, but
Hmm.
my main big boards are in Montgomery area
Sure.
because all the wedding venues, the
Yeah, yeah,
Conroe area, Houston, Spring, New
yeah.
Orleans. So I bounce around no matter where I
Sure.
am, and it all helps because my mom lives in Montgomery, so
Sure.
she's my tag along. So she goes
You're
around.
your helper.
Yeah.
So speaking of weddings, how were you able to like what happened with COVID? How are you able to pivot? And where did you kind of have to take a break, or what did you do?
Yes, definitely had to take a break, but it was kind of a blessing in disguise because I didn't lose those clients because their
Sure.
wedding just got rescheduled. So I still had those clients and my scheduling. But as far as like what I did during the weddings that happened during COVID, I couldn't use any more knives that everybody touched.
Hmm.
I had to have personable plates. I had to have tongs. I had to have napkins. I even put gloves out.
Hmm.
And no bride was worried about it just because they knew like if they were up grabbing a plate, they would get the tong and then use the plate and they would get their own stuff. Whereas usually people would just use their fingers and go and
Sure.
grab it and go. Now it does get more pricey because when your eyes are bigger than your stomach. So when you go
Sure.
up to the charcuterie board, you have a plate in front of you, you're just grab, 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 grab.
Sure.
Now when they go and take that plate, they usually
Versus
just eat
just
it all. Yeah.
picking and choosing. Yeah,
Right.
that
Yeah.
makes sense.
So yeah, I usually when during COVID, I've been stacking those boards like crazy and making them
Hmm.
so thick, just
Yeah.
because I don't want them to run out or anything like
Yeah.
that in the event. But it's definitely threw me for a loop.
Yeah.
But it did help me in some aspect, just because I've now my business just launched their to go charcuterie boxes. So those are good for date nights. Yeah, those are good for date nights, and those are good for just single party
Yeah.
events.
I
So
can't tell you, I was calling all my friends that we used to do bachelorette night, like back before I
yeah.
had kids. And I was like, we would go and we would spend, if you go by yourself for a
Oh yeah.
date night, and you and I have talked about this a little bit, but you go by
Yeah.
yourself for a date night or a girls' night and you go buy all that stuff, you're talking
Mhm.
$200 or $300 for all of the
Yeah.
variety and things.
Yeah.
So to be able to just call you up and be like, hey, I need a to-go box, like that's would have saved so much
Yeah.
time and energy. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool. That's another like little way that you're able to kind of pivot.
Yeah. So that
Because
helped me during COVID to find something new. Like, how can I still
yeah.
implement cheese boards
Mhm.
during this time? Because people aren't throwing events. They're not having
Mhm.
parties. They're not having any kind of thing where their board is bigger than like a 10 by
Right.
10. So like
Yeah.
these date night boards where they're stuck in a house, yeah.
Yeah.
And I've left them on the doorstep.
Yeah.
They've picked them up on my doorstep. So we
That's so
figure it
cool.
out.
Yeah. No, I was so excited when I saw those and I was like, oh my gosh, this is totally
Yeah.
the thing. So, like, what is your favorite part of what you do? Like, I know because for some people it's the business part of it. They really enjoy running the business. For some people it's craft or the making. Some people it's the people. So,
Mhm.
what do you think your favorite part is?
My favorite part is that I'm involved in somebody's big day, just mainly
Hmm.
with the weddings because there's such big boards. I mean,
Hmm.
I spend all day long prepping for this wedding board.
Yeah.
I go there and I spend 3 hours setting it up. And so just seeing the people walk by and ooh and ahhing, like that's what makes it all worth it. The
Yeah.
business side, the behind the scenes stuff, don't love, but I love the energy. I I love people. I love talking to people. I love
Sure.
being around people. So like when I see people coming by, I was like, oh my gosh, I've like
Yeah.
never seen this before. This is
Yeah.
amazing. Like that's when I'm like, okay, this is because like I see them all the time. I do them all the time. So it's
Sure.
nothing new to me. But
Yeah.
these people come by and they're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So I'm like, that's what I
Yeah.
love about
Makes
this
you, it kind of fills your cup a little bit.
yeah, yeah. And then seeing people post pictures and things like that throughout my social media, like that's
Sure.
what I really do enjoy seeing the most.
That's crazy. I'm just impressed that you're able to do it as a side hustle. Like I know how hard you work at work, but
Yeah,
like the whole side hustle concepts, which kind of leads me into this one.
yeah.
Where do you see On Board with Jacey in like 12 months and within the next year?
Yeah. So my parents just gave me a phone call a couple weeks ago. They surprising me with in their backyard. They're building me like a whole refrigerated room,
Oh,
and
wow.
that they would help me surpass this business to get somewhere farther. And
Sure.
I told them I was like, I don't see myself doing it full time ever. Only because I do love what I'm doing and I don't see myself anywhere else. But
Sure.
it's more so the fact of like I do want to be available when I'm available. So if I
Sure.
get booked up to the point with weddings that I can't do those side, little events or the
Sure.
boxes, I still want to be available. So me being available during the weekdays, on the evenings, and then some weekends, I do
Yeah.
see it still being steady but flexible.
Yeah.
And when I want
That's
it,
good.
yeah, when I want it to pick up, I can pick it up and
Mm-hmm.
post more, advertise more, market more,
Mm-hmm.
things like that. But when I want it to steady out,
Yeah.
I can do that. So I do want it to be flexible just because I am working full time, but I do
Yeah.
love
Exhausting.
yeah.
All of that. It's like, I'm like, you're going everywhere all the time. I'm like, how do you keep up with that? I
Yeah,
just,
and I'm a single man team, so it's
yeah,
me and so if I'm not available, then like I can't do the
sure.
job that my mom. I'm training my mom. My mom is my rock. She literally does every board with me. She's done every board with me, weddings and all.
That's
And
awesome.
she's like, I would love to be trained if you sit down and work with me, but have I had the time to do that?
Yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah, but eventually I do see myself like right now I'm on a cottage food law, so like I can only work contract based projects throughout my home or through my home.
Yeah.
So in order to be able to just sell stuff throughout my parents' refrigerator back, I have to get like a commercial size kitchen.
Sure.
Stuff. So I have to be required for that. So right now I can't surpass being, steady with just my contract base. So that's kind of where my next step is.
Yeah. No, that's good. It's good that you're thinking ahead because sometimes that stuff can creep up on you and you're like, wait a second. I can't, not ready.
Yeah.
Not ready.
Yeah. And I can't sign up for a wedding if I'm not ready for it because we'll book out years in advance.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So, yeah.
What is one thing that you wish people knew about what it is that you're doing? Is there anything like misconceptions about like pricing or misconceptions about like what you're getting in the product or kind of?
Yes, I think the biggest thing that I want people to know is that this is your event, so I want to make it your board. So my biggest question that I get to me is what's included in the board, and it's like
Sure.
whatever you want included in the board. Your board, I will do whatever you need. I'll pick the same flowers you want throughout the event that you're using. I really do try to make it seem like it's about them and what they want for their event because when they say, how much is this board? I tell them the price, but then again, I say, well, what do you want in and out of it? I can work with you on price.
Sure.
So it's never set prices. Every board is different.
That's cool.
Yeah, every price is different. I try to make it work within their budget. I usually tell them, okay, how many people is coming to the event? What do you look to spend? Okay, let's make it work. We can heavy down on less expensive cheese. Because cheese is expensive.
Cheese is expensive.
So if you just buy, cheddar cheese and Swiss cheese, we can make it get double the amount.
Yeah.
Expensive cheese. So yeah.
That's cool. I like the idea that it's a custom kind of thing because I think there's a lot of times with events and things where it's a very set amount of money, and I think people especially now maybe with the size of gatherings changing, I could see pricing being confusing for people, and like figuring out exactly what to do. And I think it's neat that you found a way not only to help people with the safety part of it with the tongs and the gloves and stuff like that, but also like you're able to work with people where they are in their price. Not everybody has the same budget.
I know, yeah, and I don't want everybody to feel like, oh, that's too expensive to me. I can't get that. Like, no, we can make it work. Like, I had one
Yeah.
event that she had like appetizers, but she didn't want to spend, a lot of money on cheese. So I just used those appetizers and put cheese all around it. And so we
Yeah.
just combined everything and just put it out, and it looks like one big board. So I
Yeah.
was willing to use her other products to
Yeah.
put in the board to make
It work for what she was trying to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Did you ever feel yourself getting like, because it's kind of started and just rolled and it happened,
Yeah.
do you ever find yourself overwhelmed? Like, what am I doing? Oh my gosh, how did this happen?
Yes. Yeah. Like, I never thought I would have so many emails in my email box about inquiries on cheese boards that I couldn't keep up with it.
Yeah.
I think my mom now helped me. She's organizing the folders to see like
Yeah.
how I can get them organized, because I never thought and ever thought that I would get to this point to where I can't keep up with everybody's stuff. But
Yeah.
it's pushing me and it's challenged me to get organized and get
Yeah.
on top of it, because you never know, like it
Yeah.
really can surpass. And I'm glad it is, because it pushes me. And that's why
Yeah.
I like where clients come to me and say, can I do this with my board? And it's like, yeah, I've
Yeah.
never done it before, and I'll be honest with them, and they're like, I love it, let's go for it. So, challenge each other.
That's cool. I've watched you put them together, and it's crazy how fast you can do it once you have a plan in your head. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, and that's the thing too, is some people will send me and it's like, okay, how much is this board? And I'm truthfully honest with them, and I say that board will probably never be recreated again. They're different. Every
Yeah.
board is different. I don't ever base it off of the same thing. They're never gonna get the same product. Every
Right.
time I place a charcuterie board, I literally just put the big blocks and then I work my way around it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
It's like
no
kind of grows on itself.
rhyme or reason, yeah, as to why I place something there. It's just part of it. But
That's crazy. That's crazy. I don't know. I just think it's cool. I mean, everybody kind of grew up, doing the dips and appetizers, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But this whole concept of the whole having it be kind of a centerpiece, sort of,
Yeah.
not just food, but it's a decoration, is just really interesting to me.
And that's where I kind of see it as like the creative like side of me always says, when you walk into a home, you want to see like the focal point of the house,
Sure.
whether it's like a chandelier, lighting fixture, or accent wall, whatever. It's like the focal point of the
Hmm.
room. And so I always tell the brides, I was like, well, you want to put it to where people walk in, they're like, oh my gosh, look at that. And it's like
Yeah.
it's a talking point, it's a gathering point, it gets people to mingle, and it definitely helps break the ice, I feel like.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know where to go, at least you can go stand by the food.
Like, hey, there's some food.
Yeah, I mean, we did it, like, I did it at a party. It was like a Chamber of Commerce party, and it's nobody really knows everybody, and so that was like, middle piece that everybody
Yeah.
sat around. So it's kind of cool
Yeah.
to see
That's
stand around your feet.
That's so cool. That's
Yeah.
so cool. I am just so excited about what you're doing. So I could talk about this forever, but is there anything else that you really that you want to share about what you do? Is there anything else that like we didn't talk about that you just really want to talk about, or kind of what do you want to chat about?
I would just want to share that I am open to any idea that anybody brings me, as far as if it's not even cheese or meats or anything,
Yeah.
but if you just need help artfully, putting together your appetizers, or just being a creative eye
Yeah.
to whatever you need help with. This was a crazy inquiry I got, but this one lady, she is so far out, like she lives in Tennessee, I think it was.
Yeah.
And she couldn't get to me to get a cheese board, but she asked me if I could mail her a layout of a butcher paper, and I hand wrote everything where it goes. And so that's something like, I will help you figure out whatever it is.
That's so cool.
I hand wrote out everything. I even drew out like the grapes. I try to place it as easy as possible. And
That's cool. Like a charcuterie plan.
Yeah. And then I sent her a list at HEB of everything that she needed to get.
Wow.
So I helped her figure out her price point, like what did she want to spend on it. And then she even FaceTimed me after, and she's like, look what I created. And so it's things like that like really, like, I will help you wherever I can. My next thing that I'm going to roll out, I am going to do workshops. So it's basically like girls' night, and you just sit and make your own cheese boards, kind of like, you paint and drink wine.
Yeah. I love it.
Charcuterie workshop. So that's the next thing. And I really do enjoy doing it. It's not anything that like I'm not going to get rid of. Like, it's always going to be around my life. I'm always going to want to provide for other clients. So the sky's the limit. That's what I feel like for my clients as well. So
That's awesome. Well, I am so proud. Sounds like a weird word, but like I'm so proud of you for like just embracing it and just rolling with it, and kind of, it surprises me how many people I talk to, they say it just kind of happened to me. It was something I was doing and then it just kind of happened, and it's turned into this thing for them, and it kind of fills. I think we all, part of us, have that entrepreneurial spirit where we want to do something that fills our own cup, you know. And I mean, it's a financial thing too, right? You make some money and you're getting to fill a cup, but I actually assumed that more people set out with like the goal to, okay, I'm going to start a business. But
I know.
most people, it just kind of happened to them. And I think that's really, really crazy.
I mean, fortunately, if I didn't have a full-time job, I think I would push towards this more than ever. But I am so content with where I'm at, and I'm content doing it on the side because it is a lot of work.
Yeah, no, it is.
Back hurts are, and I'm young. I can't do this forever.
Well, we like what you do, so
yeah.
Awesome. Well, I guess that kind of wraps it up. We're going to post all of the links for your Facebook page, Instagram, and all that kind of stuff where people can reach out to you to get a wonderful cheese board or a Go charcuterie box. And we'll get some pictures and we'll share those as well. But I really appreciate you taking time to chat with me.
Thank you. Amy. Thank you.
All right.
We all love you.
Thank you.
Bye.